then I said bye to that cop, and then Richards was out front in his car, his S-Class, whatever that thing is, and he said, "Hey, get in the car. We're gonna go talk." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll get in the car. We can talk. You know, I've known the guy for months now. You know what I mean?" So he go, and he's like, "Hey, look, I've been going through this court case, and then this arrest, and they interrogated me, and you didn't do anything." And I said, "What do you mean I didn't do anything? I tried to talk to Ralph and Michaels about it. What do you mean I didn't do?" And he started getting hysterical, started frothing at the mouth. All right, like he had rabies or something, and his hands started shaking, and I saw like the veins in his neck started bulging, like he was on steroids or something. But obviously he ain't on steroids because you've seen those. He ain't got no muscles. So he started frothing at the mouth and he started shaking and hyperventilating. And he said, "You did this to me." And he started, and the foam in his mouth started getting all over the car. So I wiped it off, and he said, "You did this to me." And then he barked at me. It was aggressive. He started barking at me. And then he pulled out a gun and he said, "Get the fuck out of the car." And then there was a helicopter and he said, "If that helicopter lands on me, I'm killing you." And he started frothing at the mouth again. And then he started hyperventilating and shaking. I thought he was having a seizure, but he wasn't. He was getting stronger somehow. The veins in his wrist started bulging. And he looked like he was getting bigger. And then he kept saying it. He kept repeating. You heard him say it. He said, "You did this to me." And he started barking at me again. And he said, "I'll kill you. Give me a reason I shouldn't make you jump." And I told him, I was like, "Look, I didn't do this to you. I know nothing about this interrogation. I know nothing about whatever this is you're talking about." He's like, "You did this to me." And then he started like choking on the foam that was coming out of his mouth. Like you ever seen like you ever seen a raccoon with rabies?
Yes, sir.
That's what it looked like. It looked like that, except it was pouring out of his mouth. Like it was like a waterfall. And it started getting all over me. That's what these spots are on my suit. Then he started barking at me again. And I said, whoa, Richards, calm down, okay? It doesn't have to be like this. Okay, we know each other. We're friends. We're buddies. We're pals. And he said, "You did this to me." And then he said, "I'm gonna blow your brains out because you did this to me." And he just kept saying it. And you were on the scene. You heard him. He just kept saying it. I think he's going crazy. I don't know if it's drugs, or I don't know if he's some kind of abomination from another world that gets stronger with conflict. I don't know what it is. But he just kept saying it. He kept repeating it. And he kept just being aggressive and saying he was gonna kill me. And he said, "You gotta tell him the truth. Tell him the truth right now. You and Dawnbringer, you did this to me." And I don't even know, and I don't know what Dawnbringer has to do with this. But then he said, "I want to call Dawnbringer, or I want Dawnbringer here." And they said, "Okay, don't worry, we'll get Dawnbringer. We'll get Dawnbringer." "Dawnbringer, are you here? Are you here on the scene?" And then Dawnbringer called him. And then he started talking to Dawnbringer, and he said, "You both did this to me. I can't believe you both did this to me. You, Dawnbringer. This cop said he'd jump off a roof and backflip if the chief told him to." And then I was like, "I don't know what this has to do with me. Who's Dawnbringer? Why does what Dawnbringer did you have to do with me?" And then Dawnbringer hung up on him, and he said, "Dawnbringer hung up on me. That means you're dead. You're dead now. I'm gonna kill you." And I said, "No, please don't." I started begging for my life. And then he started foaming at the mouth again, and I saw his finger started flexing. I saw like I didn't even think he had veins in his finger. I'm not a doctor, but I didn't think there were veins in someone's finger. And then the veins in his finger started bulging, and his hand got bigger, and he gripped the gun tighter, and he said, "Oh, that's it. Dawnbringer, it was the last straw. You both did this to me." And he started barking at me again, and he said he was gonna shoot me. And I saw him clench the pistol, and I saw the grip on the pistol. It bent. All right. It was crazy. It bent. I didn't know he was that strong. But he started crushing the metal on the pistol. And then, as I thought he was about to empty the gun into my head and kill me, he said, "I can't do this." And then finally, he wiped the foam away from his mouth and he stopped salivating. I saw the veins in his neck go away. And then he got in the car and he drove away. That's when I met you.
Your Honor, you need to take a goddamn breath.
All right, though. What the crazy ass ex-judge was gonna make me jump off a... Because he's getting charged with graft. And then
shooting outside, officer. Go do something.
And then they brought him to the hospital and let him stomp me out.
I did what?
Yeah, that park ranger brought that psycho to the hospital and let him stomp me out.
Oh my god. Sounds like a lawsuit. I mean, you would know that.
Very traumatic. I haven't been so close to death since I came back from the.
I've never heard you cry
All right.
before.
There you go. Written statement, word to word. No problem. Hello, lady. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I like your outfit and your
Thank you.
hair. They go together well.
Very